And maybe we should do that first before we proceed, because we may inadvertently
Right.
put something out there.
You know, so if we could get him to do that in relation to what we're already looking at, shouldn't take too long.
You wouldn't think the locations would change?
No.
No,
So it's just a matter of finding what we've got.
but we've got, identify them,
Yeah, and as we get
and then
closer
take that list of
to,
town-owned land and say, town-owned land to be held for, you know, sewerage treatment or whatever the identifying code's gonna be. Then we know we're not gonna look at those anymore for a while. And once the system is in, we don't need them anymore, then there's a few leftover piles, then you dispense.
anything else on this document?
Not on this document. Do we want to wait until next July before we pick 10 properties? Or do we wish to pick 10 parcels?
No.
Start the exercise now?
No, and I think
After-
if we can have Karen go back and look at minutes over the last year or two to see who's actually come in and then didn't do anything, or we put some land up for sale and we didn't get any bids because of our previous policies,
Mhm.
maybe go back and contact those people, see if there's an interest with a change in thought process on the board. Get them back on the rolls, because those people had an interest.
Right.
And then said, I don't think so.
You can't blame them.
So, and you can't blame them. So,
Especially now, with everything being changed.
Okay.
Okay,
I made the copies of these, I read about this guy.
yeah,
Classic.
10 grand, that's a huge fine.
Well,
They don't usually dole that out.
well, you know, I think with the new ethics law and everything that's gone on, and, old and new business,
Is that with me? Okay. I only have one thing, in that this past week, and tonight was the wake, Mr. George White passed away. For those of you that, I'll help you reference it, George was a co-owner of Kitty's. Longtime resident, longtime business person in town, and along with his brother Ronnie and his sister Juanita, have been terrific residents and giving people in the community. And sorry to say they passed away this week, so our condolences go to his wife Nancy and his children and his brothers and his sister. And just didn't want it to go without passing, mentioning it. But great members of the community have given tremendously, quietly over the years. And sorry to hear that he passed away.
we should also acknowledge the death of fireman,
Bob, I was gonna say Bob
Yeah, Bob
Noseworthy too. What a
Noseworthy.
great guy. Again, a few years back, we had a Bob Noseworthy Day, and for his 50 years service in the fire department, also drove the van for the seniors for a number of years. Did a great job and was very helpful to those people over the years, and a great public servant. As well as a great oil burner technician, because I know he fixed my parents' house a number of times over the years when we were cold, and came in and fixed it in the middle of the night. Paul, a great guy. Unfortunately, I was laid up and wasn't able to go to his services, but to Marsh and his family.
you know, what's
my
interesting
condolences.
is I read about the service in the transcript a week later. I don't know why the word didn't get out, or how I missed it.
Until after it was over, too.
But great public servant, terrific guy.
So you didn't hear either?
No?
No,
You know, I kept driving by the fire station, and they had the banners there, and I'm asking myself, you know, what were they there for? And I was going to stop and go in and ask. But on the return, I'm not kind of looking at the fire station, I completely forgot about it, so my retention capability was very limited. So,
I usually hear about those things. I didn't hear about it until
But
following Thursday. Anything else, Steve?
that's it.
Michael?
No, sir.
John?
One item I have is, the transcript did a great article this past week on Tim Corcoran. Tim's a resident in town, longtime coach and board member of the youth hockey program. Tim just came back from a year in Iraq as an MP from the National Guard. This was Tim's second year away from his family. He spent a year in Afghanistan in 2003. Besides missing the usual holidays, anniversaries, and birthdays, he missed his son's senior year in high school. So I want to welcome him home and thank him for his sacrifice and his service to this country. It's much appreciated.
Well said.
I read the article as well, and I just want to say, I don't know Tim at all, but thank you very much for doing what you do for our country. Other than that, I don't have anything else.
I'd just like to thank Mike and Sean for taking the initiative of pulling together a strategic plan rather than it sit on a shelf, get it to a point where it become a public and well-organized document that we can maybe this year accomplish some of the goals that we set out and not get so buried in the budget process that
It was surprising how much we did accomplish, though. If you look at the list, we actually did
well,
we didn't do too badly. Despite our efforts, we did okay.
despite our efforts.
Despite our efforts, I mean, our efforts actually paid off. We kept on track.
We have a financial planning team meeting scheduled, I believe, for next, the 19th, was it?
I believe it's the 19th, right?
19th, I think, is the date. And it's my intent at that meeting to have a draft or pro forma revenue plan for FY 2012 as a baseline to get everyone thinking.
That should-
And,
That should
we
get
do
us
have, we do have the one challenge of the one-time revenues that were applied in the school budget going away, estimated to be about $1 million. That would be on top of whatever increase they have that we cannot necessarily cover with our Prop 2.5, the systemic problem that we live with, and not knowing, obviously, for probably a long time what state aid is going to be. I thought it'd be very useful to at least get those numbers out and get them thinking about, and getting us thinking about, town administrator, of what we might have to do associated with balancing a 2012 budget as we work our way through the 2011.
Just as an aside, have we collected anything yet on the meals tax?
Yes.
Yes.
we Brought
In
in,
fact, we were
more.
$5,000 over our estimate for the half year. We had budgeted $50,000 and we collected, I think, close to 55. Joe will be presenting, I think, the recap, but our next meeting is
2 weeks.
2 weeks. So he's pulled most of this together. He's still looking at some things. So we'll look at the trends. We'll look at the collections against budget for all our local receipt categories. And that's part and parcel to the method of putting together the pro forma revenue plan for FY 2012. And
Good.
that's all I have. We have an executive session for the purposes of discussing
Collective bargaining
collective
strategy.
bargaining strategy.
Mr. Chairman, I move to enter into executive session for the purpose of collective bargaining strategy, and further, the Board of the Selectmen will return to open session for the sole purpose of adjournment.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Prisco, seconded by Mr. O'Leary. Mr. O'Leary?
Aye.
Mr. Prisco?
Aye.
Mr. Delaney?
Aye.
Mr. Yule?
Aye.
The chair votes aye. Thank you, Bob.
Thank you.